Hello, welcome to our podcast today, where will be exploring the topic of self-development and its effects on human beings. How are you doing,
Hi.
Will?
Yeah, doing fine. How are you, Ken?
Good, good, thanks a lot. So, what do
Cool.
you think about this topic today?
I think it's a very interesting topic to discuss because it's the weekend coming, and I
Mhm.
think people and our audience would love to listen to something non-technical. Um, my perspective is that we can start talking about this topic.
But in general, actually, the self-development is quite a broad and fascinating topic.
Yeah.
So, I believe we are going to be excited to dive into it and see what kind of insights we can gain from it, from this topic.
Yeah, self-development, it, as you mentioned, it's an extremely broad topic. Like it refers uh to different areas of different industries, like uh even human psychology, like um trying to improve yourself through different methods, like education, self-reflection,
Mhm.
and creating your own personal growth strategies. It's in a sense a very general topic, but I think we should focus on a specific area, which is for people who are trying to build something, who want to try new career path or ways or whatever. I think that would be uh, that might be our
Mhm.
focus for today. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a great definition. The process of intentionally improving oneself through various methods such as education, self-reflection. So, I really like your definition of this self-development. And what do you
Mhm.
think, and why do you think the self-development is important nowadays?
Well, first of all, like self-development, as you already like went through your career, you can prove that, and you can confirm that it's important because it can help us to become self-aware, uh, uh, to understand your consciousness, which in turn can lead to more efficient decision making and problem solving. And it can also
Mhm.
help to become resilient in the face of the challenges and setbacks. Like if you start a company, if you don't know how to be more resilient and to thrive in the process, you probably fail even before you raise any capital or you face the first challenge. And it's it's just becoming more confident. And you've seen like several videos on YouTube about
Mhm.
self-development. They try to teach you how to be motivated. I think probably what they most of these like videos they miss is they try to um, give you a temporary motivation, which is uh, they give you a dopamine. Um,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
uh, so basically, the process is something like this. When they talk about something that you are trying to achieve, you imagine this process and you get the dopamine. But the dopamine is temporary; it's not permanent. So when you lose that dopamine, if you don't have a discipline, you are going to probably be lost in the process.
Definitely. Definitely. Actually, I completely agree with you. Self-development can have many benefits for human beings. For example, it can help us to develop new skills, knowledge, develop new habits, behaviors, and
Mhm.
also work on our emotional and mental health.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I completely agree.
yeah.
Um, and just to add, um, self-development probably can also help uh, not to achieve like only personal goals, but also like professional goals as well, and uh, ultimately lead to a more fulfilled life. Um,
Absolutely.
You,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think you experienced that in a different way when you studied in the UK. So
Mhm.
um, it started with like learning, like creating a more uh, strong and solid discipline. I remember your times when you were studying and all going through all this
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
interesting phase. Yeah. For me, you might be um, uh, uh, probably one of the couple of personas who um, pretty much developed and went through some sort of personal development, which led and still leads to the goals, I think.
Yes, yes. Thanks. Actually, I could be
It,
one of these examples when you talk about self-development because I have started from scratch, maybe from nothing. I
yeah.
build myself only with the self-development, actually.
And by the way, it's not a
Yeah.
compliment, okay? it's, it's just what I've observed, basically.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
But absolutely, personal growth actually is a natural outcome of self-development. As we intentionally work on improving ourselves, we become more capable of achieving our goals and actually living a fulfilling life. It's a very
Yeah.
interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personal growth can also lead to have better relationship with others. I mean, not everything is work. You have your life outside of the office. You have friends, colleagues, outside of the office, and you try to build meaningful relationship with them, just to fulfill your life in a good way. And when we are more self-aware and confident, we're better able to communicate effectively and build stronger connections with those around us. Um, I've observed, um, well, basically, I'm spending most of my time observing too many brilliant personas who has who basically have a very wide range of um, technical skills, but they lack communication skills, talking to people around them,
Mhm.
creating an atmosphere where they can and others can feel comfortable and confident. They were just a bit, what can I say, lazy or whatever we can call it. But that was the thing that stopped them to move forward. Um, and one of the things they've been doing, and I think which is not necessarily wrong, but um, um, can put quite a bit of obstacles in front of you, which is like only reading self-development books. Um, it's like watching a karate movie and not even trying to do something um, in reality and calling yourself like a master or someone. It's the same thing. Uh, I have. I'm not a fan of self-development books, by the way, but uh, at least what I read, I try to replicate uh, to, to basically my real life, and I think you can agree on that part with me.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. But of course, we are talking about the good sides of that, but there are often obstacles that can make self-development difficult. What you have encountered, Will, in terms of obstacles?
I think the obstacles were pretty much different in various phases of my life. Like in the very early stages when I was like at university, it was like um, limiting myself to try things, to dare more, to do like interesting stuff, like to have some adventure, and also the fear of failure. And I won't say that I had lack of motivation, because that was the opposite, but I think I had the wrong formula to do the things. I had more than enough motivation compared to others, but I had the wrong formula. I was following the wrong compass, I would say. And I think by identifying and working through these obstacles, everyone can become more resilient and effective in their self-development journey.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. And I think it's important to remember that self-development is kind of a journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's okay to face some issues, some setbacks and challenge along the way.
Yeah.
Without that, you can't be a very strong person.
I definitely agree with you. And I just wanted to get your opinion about this. What do you think about like famous thinkers and like, people who lived a couple of centuries ago, like Aristotle, Nietzsche? Not necessarily an example, if you don't want to bring, but at least my question is, what do you think, like, a difference between the nowadays, the people who are doing the same, or at least trying to do the same thing nowadays, between the people who have done things 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago?
In terms of
Yeah,
life or in
hard
terms of
question. Yeah, I know.
self-development, definitely, because the lifestyle is quite different, and the conditions are are not the same, and not primarily the same, because 100 even 200 years ago, people lived in a completely different world. There wasn't so many, let's say, tools, devices, even assistants like a ChatGPT, for example, like even the artificial intelligence, or there wasn't a lot of opportunities like people can use right now. Even if we're talking about the students, there are a lot of like organizations like Erasmus or something like that can help students to achieve more than people who lived in 200 or 100 years ago.
Okay.
And there are more opportunities right now.
I definitely agree. But if we talk about human intelligence, I don't think like the ancient Aztecs or the ancient Egyptians, they were less intelligent than us. I think they had pretty much the same level of intelligence, but very different set of tools. They
But
didn't have, as you
the life
mentioned.
was different, actually. The life was completely different. The
Exactly.
conditions.
Exactly. What I can argue with you in that sense is, like let's talk about like the architecture point of view. Couple of examples I can bring on. For example, the buildings in Istanbul, they were built in the Ottoman Empire period, like basically in like probably 600, 700 years ago, and they still are rock solid. I think if we can look to the latest cataclysms and natural disasters that happen, for example, in Turkey, people are trying to build houses and apartments for others, and there are, of course, different factors like human greed and etc., but they still can build something that can stand.
Definitely.
For a couple of seconds. What I'm trying to say is they were not like less intelligent than us, and their self-development process probably was different, but I think they also wanted to think independently, freely, and they also wanted to exercise new adventures. That's what makes us, I think. That's what is common between us.
Probably,
Yeah.
yes. But also, if we take into account that we don't know our history really well, because history was changed a lot by different governments, by different countries, by even Vatican or like Muslim and etc. So in history, it was always changed. So maybe the history that we know right now is completely different than
Yeah.
it was. So it's difficult to say how people lived like 100 years ago, how they actually survived. But the opportunities right now, what we are facing, if we compare within the last 50 years,
Yeah.
people now have more opportunities than it was like 50 years ago.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think people have changed. They try new things, like all the new advancements in technology. They show us where we are going at the moment. But self-development still, it's not even a universal thing. It's more of a personal approach.
Yes.
Each person can build its own personal development and self-development path. It might be by reading books or by just simply experiencing things outside of the room. It can be different.
Yeah. But if we are talking about people who like currently and recently make popular the term of the self-development, self-improvement. I can say
Mhm.
like Tony Robbins, Carnegie, for example, Brent
Yeah,
Brown. So these people actually made a lot of work for getting popularized the idea of the self-development.
yeah. I can agree. I've read the book. I think I've read it when I was at university. The How to Gain Friends. Um, uh, the book of, I think, Dale Carnegie, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. And yeah, and there were different stories about like U.S. presidents, Lincoln, how they were preparing their speeches, how they were going through all the anxiety uh, in front of the crowd, and how even top companies struggle with creating a self-development and personal development plan and strategies for their employees and the company. Uh, so I think this topic is going to be uh, very interesting, and I I feel that at some point when AI is going to be conscious and have feelings,
Mhm.
we are going to yeah we are going to witness a very
Exactly.
interesting
Exactly.
scenarios.
There is coming something new. The life with the
Yeah,
AI like something like Mid Journey and the robots who are feeling and
I'm not even
walking
sure
through
what's
us.
coming soon. Honestly, they do everything. they they launch different products every day, and for some point, I think it's just fill out the market. But I hope that AI is going to solve a very and extremely important problems. Not just an application that can convert text to speech or speech to text. I mean, uh, that's definitely helpful, but it's not a huge problem that humanity at the moment faces. For example,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's disease
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
can be uh, I think I've read an article about that. They are doing something in the healthcare sector to at least detect the disease at the right stage, and basically make the treatment process more efficient with that.
Yeah, so let's see what's coming next. But
Yes,
thanks a lot
exactly.
for today's topic. Yeah, if you have anything else to add, please feel free.
No, just a small announcement for our audience is that soon we are going to be on a regular podcast format, which means that you are going to see our faces, and we are going to have regular podcast meetings and sessions with top persons in the field who basically have enough experience to tell you how to do things in the right way.
Perfect. So
yeah,
let's see how it's going to be.
right.
But thanks
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the topic. See you soon, and good night to our audience. I hope you like it. Please share and subscribe to our channel. Bye bye. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.